Jaron Ennis says he'll dominate 154 now. Before we get into this next video, make sure that y'all hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you not already subbed to the channel. So yeah, make sure that y'all hit my like button. Now, Jaron Ennis. Yeah, Boots. A lot of fight fans, a lot of fighters, a lot of fight experts, they'll tell you that Jaron Ennis is the next big thing in boxing. Now, we know that Jaron Ennis is at 147 pounds, and right now he is the #1 ranked contender to Errol Spence's IBF belt, right? He's called out Errol Spence, he's called out Terrence Crawford, but the thing about it is we all pretty much knew that he wasn't going to be able to get Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. Now, Terrence Crawford could have fought him, right? Errol Spence was lined up for Manny Pacquiao, and then right after Manny Pacquiao, he was lined up for Ugas because Ugas ended up fighting Manny Pacquiao and beat Manny Pacquiao for that WBA title. So Errol Spence was already in line because it was already inked that Errol Spence was supposed to take on Manny Pacquiao. But we all know that the eye injury took place. So Manny Pacquiao and Yordenis Ugas ended up fighting, and Errol Spence was already in line for the winner when he got off the injury. Terrence Crawford, in the meanwhile, he was open. He didn't have no fight on the table. He still hasn't fought anybody since he fought Sean Porter in November. And Jaron Ennis was calling Terrence Crawford out at that time. And Terrence Crawford, he didn't respond. Jaron Ennis has also been calling out Keith Thurman as of recent. And now we hearing that Keith Thurman is asking for, at least $10 million to step in the ring with Jaron Ennis. And we know earlier in the year before, Keith Thurman was pretending like he didn't know who Jaron Ennis was, but we all seen that was a lie. And Keith Thurman was just basically pretending like he didn't know Jaron Ennis, so he wouldn't have to answer the questions on how did he think that he would do in a fight against Jaron Ennis. Or, for people to start calling for Keith Thurman to fight Jaron Ennis, right? So he just wanted to act like he didn't know him altogether to skip around that. But we saying that Keith Thurman, he came out and he says, I was just saying that I do know who Jaron Ennis is, and gave him praise. We've seen Errol Spence give Jaron Ennis praise. We've seen Terrence Crawford give him praise, and they all say that Jaron Ennis is a hell of a fighter. The only thing that you can say about Jaron Ennis right now is his level of competition. Everybody been waiting for him to step up his level of competition because a lot of people, they just curious to see how he'll do in the ring with, a high class, maybe a B+ level opponent. But other than that, you can see the eye test shows you that Jaron Ennis is that guy. You got guys like Shakur Stevenson praising Jaron Ennis, right? You got guys like Roy Jones and just all of the top fighters and legends of today and yesteryear. They know that Jaron Ennis is that guy just from seeing him destroy C-level competition and the way that he's doing it. But with that being said, Jaron Ennis is a very big fighter for 147 pounds. I think Jaron Ennis is around 5'10", right? You can look at him, he's bigger than Terrence Crawford. He's bigger than Errol Spence. He's a big 147 pounder. And recently in an interview, Jaron Ennis was asked, hey, how you think that you would do if you moved up to 154? And he said, well, I can move up to 154 pounds today if I wanted to, and I would dominate, right? I could do it today if I wanted to, and I can dominate. And matter of fact, I can actually dominate at 147 and 154 simultaneously at the same time. I can go back and forth, right? It don't matter to me. If the fights is there, I'm taking them. Now, we all know at 154 pounds, the king is Jermell Iron Man Charlo. Jermell Charlo has ran rampant through the 154-pound division, but for some reason, people still don't want to give Jermell Charlo his credit. you know, they still don't want to give him his credit. And he's destroying the whole division. But with that being said, a great fight would be Jermell Charlo and Jaron Ennis. Now, when I was coming up watching boxing, you would get fighters like a Jaron Ennis, fighters like a Errol Spence. You know, you would get these big top name fighters when they were still young. They would move up and take on tasks like this. And when I mean like this, I mean like if a Jaron Ennis moved up out of nowhere and got a fight with Jermell Charlo. We don't really see fighters doing that nowadays unless it's in the smaller weight divisions. Now we see Canelo doing that, but a lot of people ain't really satisfied with the opponents that Canelo's choosing, right? A lot of people think that Canelo is pretty much, you know, sitting back and trying to pick easy fights in these divisions, right? He's trying to see who is going to be the easiest fight for him, and he'll go up and do it. Well, back in the day, we had like Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker. You even had Oscar De La Hoya. You had Roy Jones. We had those great fighters like that, and they would move up out of nowhere, and sometimes they would face the top dog in that division, right? Just move up, no warm-up fights, and just face the top dog in whatever division, you know, that might be. Sometimes you would see him move up 2 weight classes. Sometimes you'll see him move up 1 weight class. But we don't see that no more unless it's the smaller weight divisions. And we need somebody like that in boxing that's willing to jump up and face the best of the best in the next weight division and make a mega fight, right? But the politics of boxing is a problem. It's a problem because although I would love to see Jaron Ennis jump up to 154 pounds in a mega fight against Jermell Charlo, we know it won't happen because of the politics of boxing, right? We know it won't happen. I know that Jaron Ennis will be willing to do it because he said that he feels that he dominates 154 pounds right now if he moved up. I don't know if Jermell Charlo would be willing to take that fight, but I ain't really never seen Jermell Charlo duck no smoke, so I can't tell you that Jermell Charlo wouldn't be willing, and especially if the money is right. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Jaron Ennis jump up in weight and face Jermell Charlo? And you might argue that Jermell Charlo might be the underdog. That's how good Jaron Ennis is. That's how people look at Jaron Ennis, you know, that he could move up and dominate 154 right now. And Jermell Charlo being the undisputed champion, hold all the belts. He didn't leave no meat on the bone. He got all the belts. And coming in as an underdog for a man that haven't even fought a B+, a A-level opponent yet at his own weight division, right? So that just tells you how Jaron Ennis is looked at. Jaron Ennis, I look at the landscape of boxing just all around. And in the bigger weight classes, Jaron Ennis is the guy that I see that can move up and down in weight, right? He said he could go all the way to 168. You feel me? So we need somebody like this in boxing that's willing to take chances, move up and down in weight, right? If you ain't getting it, if they don't want to fight you in one weight, move up to the next weight, right? Beat somebody at the next weight, come back down, whoop somebody in the other way. Now it does take a lot of toll out of your body, but Jaron Ennis is saying, hey, it don't take him nothing to make 147. He says that he's even eating what he wants to eat during the week of the fight. So he says he's able to make weight easy. He said he have a different body structure and it's not hard for him to make 147, even though he's a big 147 pounder, right? And he could easily go all the way up to 160, he's saying, right? And he said he sees himself finishing his career at 168. Jaron Ennis, his ceiling is through the roof. It ain't no limit on how far he might go. And we need something like this in boxing. the last time that I can remember that we had a big mega fight, and I'm not talking about in the UK, I'm talking about in the US, with somebody to move all the way up in weight and challenge themselves. Really, the first one I can remember off the rip, off the bat, is Adrian Broner versus Marcos Madonna. But he was fooling around and he didn't take the fight as serious as he should because he was on rap tours and doing a whole bunch of other shit. But Jaron Ennis, he could be the next one to really do it and dominate in 2 different weight classes at the same time. Let me know what y'all think about this. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.